This is huge for the Chicago Bulls as they win tonight in Toronto, and we're going to be talking about the injury update around Josh Giddey and Lonzo Ball. We're going to be talking about what that means for the Chicago Bulls. This is your host, Rico Greenhowe, and you have found yourself on another episode of Bulls Digest. And so tonight, the Chicago Bulls get the win against the Raptors tonight in Toronto, 122 to 121. I think initially the key takeaway from tonight's game is that it just was a great team win. And I also think that Billiy Donovan had to really use his bench a lot more and trust the younger players tonight. And so that was good to see. And so I think that that's just really one of the major key takeaways just as a whole from this game. But let's go ahead and jump into the box score and take a look at just the players that stood out tonight. And so let's start with Lonzo Ball. I think that Lonzo Ball was incredible tonight. I did the video earlier talking about how the Chicago Bulls are possibly actively looking to go ahead and trade him or shop him or whatever that looks like. But Lonzo, terrific tonight. Look, he came out there. He had a season high as far as minutes were concerned. He played 23 minutes tonight. He had 8 points. He had 7 assists. He had 6 rebounds. He had 1 steal. He also had 1 block. And even though he was -9 today, I mean, he was just impactful because there was a time where Toronto really, they were making a huge run. And Vooch had a lot of mismatches down low. Nobody was getting him the basketball. And then you could even, with Stacey King during the broadcast, would say, just give it to Lonzo, he'll do it. And Lonzo absolutely did that for us. And so that is why you love Lonzo Ball on this team, because just his basketball IQ on both ends, it's incredible for this team. And I just think that, you know, no matter where you put Lonzo, I think that he's just a terrific fit out there. And so he's definitely the MVP tonight, because without his efforts, I'm not sure that this team would have gotten the win. And also, too, he talked after the game about the minutes restriction and about how they talked to him, and he was saying that he felt good enough to continue playing. And really, we needed him today because we did lose Josh Giddey due to an ankle injury, which we're going to talk about that here in a moment. And so we needed Lonzo out there. If they would have put him on the bench, I'm not sure that we necessarily would have got that win. And so next up, I think another MVP for us tonight, it was Vooch, okay? Because Vooch was spectacular once again, 24 points, 3 assists. He had 5 rebounds, 2 blocks. He was +2 for us. And once again, with Vooch, I mean, he continues to work well in the paint. And this is something that we didn't see a year ago. And this is why you're loving Vooch this season, because he has the inside-outside game working. And I feel like when the Bulls go inside to Vooch, I think it opens up so many other things right there. And so Vooch is still having a fabulous season. We needed it tonight because Zach LaVine was out due to a back injury or back tightness or whatever it is. And so we needed Vooch tonight. He showed up for us. He did a great job as far as taking advantages of mismatches and things like that. So I think that he did well. Next up, I think another MVP for us tonight, it was THT, because the way that THT scored the basketball tonight, it's something that we needed. Coming off the bench, he was knocking down shots, he was getting to the rim, and he caught an incredible alley-oop from Lonzo, and it was like a reverse dunk. It was nasty, so that was good to see with THT getting up there, and so that was cool. He had 15 points, he had 4 rebounds, he had 2 assists, he had 2 steals. I know he finishes with a -6, but again, coming off the bench, he is instant offense, and so you have got to love that. I think that THT, we needed his scoring tonight, so I think that he certainly is an MVP for us. The next up, Coby White. Look, I think that Coby White, he did struggle a little bit. He did score 19 points today. He didn't get any rebounds. He did have 5 assists. He had 2 steals. He was a +10 tonight. I thought he had a little bit more of a better, comfort level to him tonight, and so hopefully this is something that he can really build off of. I know that much is being talked about with the struggling that he's been having as far as just the offense is concerned and stuff like that, but seriously, I don't really necessarily worry about Coby White because he's a player that's had to figure it out here in Chicago with multiple roles, and I trust him to figure it out, and I think it's just a matter of time, just that he's going to continue to get into rhythm. And with Coby White, I think that he's a player player that he's just got to continue to get out there, and I think it happens for him. I think that once he gets into just the mindset of not just settling for the three-point shot and getting to the rim a little bit more, I think that that's going to help him, along with getting to the mid-range. And so it's good to see that he was a plus 10 tonight in the box score, so that was great. Next up with Ayo. And so, look, Ayo, 12 points. He had 5 assists, 5 rebounds, 1 steal, 1 block. I know he was -6 today, but he did a lot of great things defensively out there. Once again, he tried to be a one-man fast break, and I love the energy that he gave us. And so, quiet as it's kept, look, Ayo continues to play well in the starting lineup, continues to build off of momentum after a slow start, and I think he really works well back there when he is paired with Coby White in the starting lineup. So I think that he's doing a terrific job out there, and so I think another solid game for him tonight. So that leads me to just the next thing here with Josh Giddey. And so, look, Josh Giddey, he was playing fabulous tonight, in my opinion. He had 11 points, he had 9 rebounds, he had 8 assists, 2 steals, 1 block. He was plus 12. And I was saying to myself, like, man, defensively, I love the energy that he was bringing tonight. And I was like, man, if he can just continue to really put this together. I just had talked about this in the pregame show about, how confident he looked against the Hornets. And then I'm like, man, I'm seeing that same confidence here against Toronto. Is this something that he could build off of? And unfortunately, I think it was the third quarter. I want to say that he was going for a late contested shot, and it was just just a fluke play. He's like running over there, and he kind of stumbles a little bit and just completely twists his ankle on the ground. They had to help him off the court, and it was just awful to see your star point guard go down to a sprained ankle or twisted ankle. And we're going to talk about that a little bit more as we have an update for it. But it was unfortunate to see Josh Giddey go down like that, and so hopefully he is going to be okay, because he was having a very good game, and there's no doubt about it. I think that he definitely would have got a triple-double. It would have been his second with the Chicago Bulls. And so next up, Patrick Williams. And so Patrick Williams, look, I know he only had 6 points today. He had 1 assist, 1 steal, 2 blocks, 4 rebounds, -4. But in the 21 minutes, P-Will was super aggressive today. I'm like, did I just see Patrick Williams grab it off the glass and slam it in? I mean, just his energy tonight, I'm like, man, can we get that every game with Patrick Williams? And so I'm glad to see that we saw Patrick Williams become a little bit more assertive tonight. And so that was good to see. It looks like that, perhaps he's kind of getting himself back together. And there was a nice assist that he had from like a point forward situation. So I did like that about Patrick Williams. And so next up, I think that Jalen Smith played very well. I think with him, 10 points, 5 rebounds, 1 assist. He had 1 steal. He was plus 2 in the box score tonight as well. So I love the way that he continued to shoot the basketball. That was good. And so I think that Jalen Smith continues to get some rhythm as well. And then lastly, look, with Julian Phillips, I think that he came out and he was just ready to go, because he had 10 points. He was 4 or 5 from the field. And actually, I think he would have hit another three-pointer had he not stepped out of bounds. It didn't count. It still went in. But 10 points, 1 steal, 1 block. I just talked about how Josh Giddey was having a great game. He had some pretty dimes over to Julian Phillips, where he got some nasty dunks in the first half. So I just felt like that really kind of energized, I think, Giddey, and also to Julian Phillips. Like, you could tell that this team was like, it was running. And that's exactly, I think, what this team is geared for, is just to get up and run and also get up those three-point shots. But it was good to see them in the fast break there. And that essentially, that might be the future right there, depending on how the Chicago Bulls continue to keep building. And so I thought that we had some standout performances across the board as a team, like I just talked about here. I think that those there was just so many good performances that just really stood out. And so from a team box score here, look, the Raptors, they win in the rebound total 44-42, so not bad. It's essentially pretty even right there. As far as the turnovers are concerned, Toronto had 17 to our 12 turnovers here, so that was good that we cut down the turnovers, and so they led in that department. The Bulls in the fast break department, 15-14 there, so I think we did a terrific job as far as getting out in the fast break and really taking advantage of that. When it came down to points in the paint, once again, again, we get beat there. Toronto 64-58 in that regards. From the assist standpoint, the Bulls do a great job there with 33 assists, so that's good. The activity as far as the block shots, I thought that we had a lot of those with winning that category 8-6. And then the steals, and so we were active as far as the getting in the passing lane. I think that Coby White had a very nice steal. I think either early in the first half or early in the second half. It was a very nice steal, which led to some fast breaks and stuff like that. But 11-7 there for the Bulls in that category. Field goal percentage, not bad. 48.4% from the field, 34.6 from three. With the Toronto Raptors there, they had a 46.2 from the field, and then they shot 35% from three. Again, this game was very tight as they started to get a lot of momentum down the stretch here, and they almost kind of came back and won the game. Thank goodness that THT hit a critical free throw, because if not, I think that would have tied the game up with that last basket here. And so as we move forward here, you guys can take a look, just see a little bit of more of kind of what Toronto did. I did this a little bit differently. I focused on our box score, and then now you can see the team box score. But now I want to go ahead and shift focus and look at the injury reports, for the Chicago Bulls, or an updated injury report. And so this is something that, I just I'd heard about it on CHGO podcast, and I went ahead and checked it out. This is Julia Poe. She writes for the Chicago Tribune, and kind of give us a little bit of an update around Lonzo Ball. And so if you were watching that game, I talked about how well he did play, but he did struggle shooting the ball. But this is what he had to say, in saying that he's still dealing with a little bit of discomfort in that wrist sprain. And remember, going into that injury, had he kept playing, there was the concern that could have turned into something that needed surgery. And so he talks about that, it's bothering him on his follow through. It gets aggravated mid-game when he gets bumped and lands on it and stuff like that. And so that is a little concerning to hear, especially with Lonzo now, playing extended minutes, and we're not sure, what the situation ultimately is going to look like with Giddey down the stretch here for a little bit. The Bulls might need to rely on him some more, and so hopefully this is something that, can eventually go away. But this is the update around Lonzo Ball, which leads me to the last injury update, and this is around Josh Giddey. And so you don't want to definitely see this, but he re-injured the ankle that he suffered, the ruptured ATFL during the Olympics. And so that is very concerning to hear that. And so right now, they're saying that the medical team has not updated Billiy Donovan and, to what degree it is of a sprain. And so hopefully Josh Giddey is going to be okay. Like I said, if you saw the game, it didn't look very good, like I said, but hopefully he will be fine eventually. So we will see what happens, and that is the injury update around both of these players out there. So look, even though the Chicago Bulls win today, in a way, I think we actually kind of lost, man, because we lose like I said, our star point guard, and then also to get this type of injury update around Lonzo, who's been an impact for us. That's tough news to hear. And so I just want to thank everybody out there for liking, sharing, and subscribing to the channel. It means a lot to us as we try to reach our goal of 5,000 subscribers by the end of the NBA season out there. Want to let you know that about 68.3% of you that watch are not subscribed, so please make sure that you go out there and mash that subscribe button, as it means a lot to us here as we try to reach that subscriber goal. And so look, even though the Chicago Bulls, like I said, win tonight, it's tough because of the injuries out there. And once again, it was good to see Billiy Donovan go out there and use a lot of these younger players. One of the players that I didn't talk about was Modest Buzelis. Look, he had a nasty crossover out there. That was pretty sweet. He had 7 points, 4 rebounds, an assist, and a +7 in the box score. So it's great that Billiy Donovan is trusting the younger players, and we saw that tonight. He really had to trust those players, especially with injuries and people just dealing with some things where they're a little nicked up out there. So hopefully Billiy Donovan can continue to allow these players to grow, because regardless of what we're doing as far as the direction or whatnot, ultimately speaking, you've still got to develop these players. And so let me know in the comments. And once again, even though it looks tough right now, I'm still saying go Bulls, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.